Hello there! Today I'm going to be doing a speed paint of my friend's OC Roxy, and I'm going to do it in a chibi and pixel form. So I'm working with a canvas that was originally, I believe, 250 pixels by 450 pixels, but it's not that size anymore because I cropped it and fixed it and all that. And Roxy here is a Neko character, and she's rather shy and quiet, and so I really wanted to make her look kind of embarrassed and, I don't know, adorable, mostly. I don't know if I succeeded all that well, but yeah. And I sketched it with the brush tool rather than the pencil tool in Photoshop because I feel much more comfortable with the the brush tool rather than the pencil tool. But here, when I'm doing the line art for, Roxy, I'm using the pencil tool because that's the pixel thing that you have in Photoshop. And it's really weird for me because I'm not used to using the pixel tool yet, even though I've done quite a good number of pixel things recently. And actually I started doing pixels all because of the friend that owns this character. She felt like dabbling into it and she dragged me in with her. But yeah, line arting is just kind of trying my best to make it look natural, even though it's so pixely and blocky. And I'm kind of rather proud of how it came out, considering my inexperience with pixels and all that. And I rely on my pen tool a lot with this line art because it can just get a sort of smoothness that I really struggle with otherwise. But yeah, with the line art essentially done, I screenshotted the original drawing of Roxy to eyedropper the colours to do the base colours. And the hair is a nice brown colour. I really do like this character's colour scheme. It's really warm and soft, and it really fits the personality that my friend ended up giving her. And I'm doing my base colours the long and painful way of just filling in the outline and filling in the middle rather than my usual lassoing method, because with pixels I don't think the lasso method will be as precise as I tend to enjoy it being. And the whole point of me using the lasso for base colours is to get it as precise as I possibly can. And apart from doing the base colours, I also wanted to colour the line art, but that came later, as well as animating Roxy. That also comes later. And I tried to rely a bit on my magic wand tool to help with the colours, but it doesn't really work out too well because even though I have my tolerance on my wand tool at 0, it still kind of bleeds into the other colours. And I'm doing the tail colour and line art on a separate layer because I intended to animate it as well as the eyes. And I duplicated the hair and put it on a layer over the eyes because I didn't want to worry about having to erase the bit where the hair overlaps with the eyes when I'm animating. And I made the eyes as shiny as I possibly could without it looking too strange, because later when I animated I did a second highlight layer so it looks like she's almost crying with the varying shininess thingies. My vocabulary seems to be failing me. But anyway, with the shading on the hair and the rest of Roxy, I don't really have any trouble at all because it's cell shading essentially, and that's something that I've had a lot of experience with. Really, pixels, the most challenging bit of pixels for me is the line arting and the original sketching to not make it look distorted. And again with the highlights, I wanted to make the hair really shiny and really glossy, and so I did 2 tones for highlights, and same in the tail. Well, I don't think I actually used, no yes I did use a second highlight on the tail. And after the hair I do the skin, and with the skin I always pick a pinker colour than the base. Like in the Photoshop color wheel, I go down towards the red rather than the orange for the shade, especially with Roxy since she has a really yellowy base skin. And I really like, the brightness that it gives when you do pink in the skin. And the blushes I'm not quite content with. I would much rather I have done the zigzaggy blushes, but well, hindsight is 2020. I also would have rather that I did a second colour on the shoes, but well. On the pants, I was debating whether I should do the second shade colour, but I ended up doing it. I ended up being really happy with it. And for the jumper, I used a multiply layer, for the shading, since it has double colors and I didn't really want to bother with having to shade each one individually, so multiply layer. And then here I'm coloring the line art to make it really soft, and this is my favorite bit about pixels, making the line art kind of fit in and help rather than just be there as a frame thing. Like the way the pixels interact with the line art is my favorite bit. And right after I'm done with the line art, I'm going to start working on animating. I intended to animate the tail, but it didn't really work out, so you see me messing around with it a lot, but then I ended up not doing anything. The eyes in particular, I worked on doing the shine thing that I spoke of earlier, and then blinking. And I wanted a tear to fall down with the blinky, but that didn't end up working. But here I'm just placing the frames in the order for the animation, deleting them back and putting them again whenever I didn't like how it turned out. And this is the good time that worked out. And well, that's Roxy, my friend's OC. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Links for everything in the description. Make sure to check it out. And yeah, thanks.